Hello everyone! This hour on Verbling, the next in my Getting Results in Business series, and we are doing our final project in our How to Talk About Performance unit, all about job performance, evaluations, the performance of projects, and the performance of the company itself. And what we're going to be doing in our final project is to take what we've been learning and we're going to try to apply it to a appraisal of a company and make suggestions as a group that will help the company perform better. So more about that in just a moment. First, a little bit about me. I'm John Eric, your Verbling teacher for this hour. I'm an American teacher from New York, hanging out in Lisbon, Portugal to bring you this class. By the way, 3 quick rules to help you participate. Don't forget to turn off, tune in, and open up. Turn off your microphone when you're not speaking so we can keep the classroom quiet. Tune in to the new words when you are speaking. That means use them actively so I can correct you. And also, open up to your classmates. Relax and have fun. We're all here to learn, and this is a safe and respectful place to practice your English. So, I don't know about you, but my computer went a little crazy because of all the updates this morning, so I couldn't get into class, but I'm here now. So, welcome everyone. Welcome back, Rebecca and Raphael. We've got a few more people coming in. Let me just say a quick hello to, how do I say your name? Is it Ajka or Aika? How do I say your name?
Aika. Good morning.
Aika. Oh, hello, Aika. And where are you from?
I'm from Slovakia.
From Slovakia. That's a very nice squirrel that you have there.
Thank you.
It's a fine squirrel.
It's our picture. I did a picture. I mean, from the squirrel.
It's what?
I did a picture from the squirrel by my own. So.
Is that your backyard? Is that your buddy, your friend who comes
yes.
every day?
To feed him.
Excellent. Excellent. So next time, bring him to class so we can meet him. Okay?
Okay.
So, since we're running a little late, let's jump right into our material. As you know, you've got the Verbling material under the chat, under the video window. I will also post it here for you. If you open it up, you will see this logo, so you know you're in the right place for the notes. And all of our material is in this notes document. If you want, make a copy of it to your drive by going to File, make a copy, and you can put a copy of this into your own Google Drive for later. Of course, I'm going to update it, so you might have to make another copy later if I add material to it. Okay, anyway, let's go to a summary of, let's see if I did the summary from yesterday. I think I did. I did. So, in yesterday's class, we learned about 2 conditional forms you can use to talk about hypothetical results. When you're doing an appraisal or you're evaluating someone's performance, you have to say what they should have done. So that's what I mean. The should have, could have, might have form. Okay, so that's what we did yesterday. So what? Why was it important? Well, it was important because now you should be more clear, not clear, but a little more clear about the form of the third conditionals and mixed conditionals. A little spelling mistake there, sorry. That third conditionals talk about the past. Mixed conditionals usually talk about the present. Could and might are interchangeable, and should and ought to are interchangeable. That's what we did basically yesterday. And now you should have done homework number 3. If you didn't, it's okay. These are conversation classes, so you can come and go as you like. But yesterday I sent you homework 3. I'm going to open it up in the background. We'll take a look if there's any questions, and then we're going to start our case study, which is in presentation 4. And I'll open that up as well. Okay? So, let's take a quick look at the homework and see if there's any questions that I can help you with. In the homework, you also had a good... It's one of the most important things you can do. This is quite advanced, and it's really essential. This speculating about the past. So let's take a look. Whenever this document opens, we'll take a look. I love Google. It takes a half an hour to open what is basically a JPEG. Oh my God. There we go. Okay. So this is your homework from yesterday. As you know, you can check your answers on the back. As it says there, got anything wrong, let me know in class. Here's your overview of the conditionals from yesterday. And on slide 5, you had your first assignment. So what do you think? Are there any questions from this first page? Anything that you got wrong that you're not sure about?
Yes, me.
Okay.
In the sentence 5, I don't understand the second part.
Okay. So let's take a look. So first of all, if you hadn't done the homework, it's just complete the sentences with the correct form of the verb. That means you have to choose a third conditional or a mixed conditional. Sometimes more than one answer is possible. So let's take a look at 5. Well, tell me if I'm wrong here, Diego. This is like a dialogue, isn't it? Between two people?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So we need to look at 4 and 5 together, or it won't make any sense, I think. It's been since I've done this one, so I have to remember if it's like that. But I think they're all connected together. Okay, so first, tell me what your answer was. Maybe we can do it like that. Tell me what you had for an answer first, and then we'll see if we can help you. We can make sense of it, okay?
Yes. If I hadn't brought if I hadn't brought it with me, I wouldn't talk. I wouldn't talk to you now.
Ah, okay. So you want to know why it's wouldn't be talking instead of wouldn't talk.
Yes.
Okay, but that's easy. That's easy. It's just because of the word now. That's the reason. Because now puts the emphasis that the action is happening at the moment of speaking.
Okay.
If you took away the now, it's not so clear that it's happening while we're speaking. Let's see, I wonder if you could say it the other way. I wonder if it sounds bad. If you said, of course, I've got my mobile. If I hadn't brought it with me, I wouldn't talk to you. If I hadn't brought it with me, I wouldn't talk to you. It sounds weird. So I would say you could also say, I wouldn't be able to talk to you. If I brought it with me now, or if I hadn't brought it with me, I wouldn't be able to talk to you. Or I wouldn't be talking to you now in this moment. Because remember, it's mobile phone. So the implication is that they're talking through the phone. They're not face to face. So I guess it's not just the word now, but if we really step back, you have to see that it's a phone conversation. So you have to work it out from the context. So I guess the mobile phone is even more important than the word now. Okay, but I could also change it to I wouldn't be able to talk to you. That would also sound okay in this context. So it doesn't have to be the present continuous, but it is the best answer. Okay, any other questions from this one? Before we move on? I think Diego is the only one who did the homework. Am I right? Did anyone else do it?
We
Sergio?
should have. We should have done, but we didn't.
Which conditional was that?
Should have done.
Which conditional was that? We learned that yesterday.
Um.
Oh, you don't have to think, Sergio. Whenever you've got a have, it's the third conditional. Whenever
Third
you've got one.
condition.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
When you've
Yeah,
got have.
actually, I've been using this, but I'm not really like thinking like a grammar. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And you don't need to. But what I want to show you is, from yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
that there's no thought involved in it. If you need to label the sentence, right?
Yeah.
Will first, would second, would have third. That's it. It's that simple,
Gotcha.
right?
Gotcha.
Just to know the label. What do grammar books call it? So should have will always be the third. And what's important is that you know the use. Should have, could have refers to the past. Would, should refers to the present. Will, may, shall refers to the future. So that's it. All right. Well, listen, I'll tell you what. I'll give you another chance to try the homework, and we'll take a look at it tomorrow if there's any questions. If there's any questions about the second page, Diego, let me know. We can answer them right now.
No.
No? It's all right?
No.
Okay. And that was it, just those two. Okay? So you can find that to get some extra practice on page 4, where you see homework number 3. And obviously, the 3 corresponds to presentation 3. So if you haven't done the other homeworks, you can always open the corresponding presentation. So homework 1 corresponds to presentation 1. Homework 2 corresponds to presentation 2. So you can always open the presentations and just take a look, even if you weren't in class. And you can basically do it as a self-study. And then if there's questions, just send me a message and I'll help you out. So let's move on then. Our case study for today. We've got a little bit of background. We need to know about a company so that we can have a meeting and discuss for ourselves what the company ought to do. But we also have, we don't have it. So we had here we go. We also have an expert view. So we're going to start here. Roger Dells, Program Director for the Center for Customized Executive Development at the Cranfield School of Management, has some important advice for us to consider before we do a performance evaluation. So let's read and summarize what his advice is, and let's use it as a kind of a tool as we look at our case study. Okay? Can I get a reader for the expert view?
Me.
Go for it.
Thanks. The expert view. Two broad ways of evaluating and improving performance are inside-out and inside-in evaluation. Inside-out evaluation answers the question, how well do I think I am doing? And requires you to set benchmarks for performance drawn from industry standards. Performance must be measured against these benchmarks in a formal and regular way and as frequently as is appropriate. Outside-in evaluation answers the question, how well do they think I am doing? And requires you to seek 360-degree feedback from customers, suppliers, and any other significant stakeholders in the value chain. This feedback is best obtained through a formal questionnaire, which should be administered regularly.
Wow, that's a lot of big words. Sylvia, just repeat 2 words. The first word is frequently.
Frequently.
Okay. And the other word was measured.
Measured? Where is? Measured.
Performance can be measured. Measured. Right. Okay, good. So, we got to deal with the vocabulary first. Some of the difficult vocabulary, I think, I'll give you my ideas, but you tell me yours. Benchmarks. That's a difficult vocabulary word. So we've got benchmark is one.
Stakeholders.
Stakeholders is another. I'm going to put these all in the chat window. Stakeholders. I want all of you to define these words or give me an example if you can. 360-degree feedback. We learned that concept in an earlier class. Okay, but you might not remember it, or you might not have been to the class. So we need to clarify what 360 feedback is. Are there any other words that are not clear from this text, class? Are there any other words that you're not sure about besides benchmark, stakeholders, 360 degrees? Everything else is okay?
Suppliers.
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 Suppliers. There we go. Okay, so how about this? I assign a word to you. You give me an example. And if you're not sure, you can pass it to someone else, okay? But let's just make these words really clear, okay? So, Mr. Roberto, are you out there?
Yes, I am here.
Okay, Mr. Roberto, you're going to give us an example or a definition of the word benchmark. If you want, you can Google for it, okay? But see if you can come up with a clear example for the class, okay? I'll give you a minute to do it. Let's see. Rebecca, are you out there? Rebecca,
Yes, sorry. Yeah.
Can you give us an example of stakeholders? Okay, you can use Google or you can use your experience. Take a minute and think about it. Take a minute, okay?
Say again, please. Stakeholders. Okay.
Yeah, it's in the chat window.
No, I just wrote it. Yeah.
Okay. And
Can I look it up in the dictionary?
of course, yes.
Okay.
You're going to give us an example.
Perfect.
Jose, are you there?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. You were here last week. So you're going to try to define or give an example of 360-degree feedback.
Okay.
If you like open presentation 2, if you want to review the interview, okay? And let's see, who else is here? Diego, you were here last week, right?
Yes.
Okay. I want you to focus on suppliers and try to focus on an example if you can. I think examples are easier than definitions. Definitions tend to be a little bit abstract. Okay? And the rest of you, we're going to get the background to our case study in just a moment. All right? So while Rebecca and Jose and Diego are looking up theirs, let's see if Roberto is ready. Roberto, can you give us an example for benchmarks?
I'm not sure. I don't know if the meaning is correct, but
okay.
An example. Okay.
Let's see.
For example, I don't trust in benchmarks.
Tell me why.
Because they use my money.
Okay. I don't. But you got to give me a little bit more context. It could be right, but I need more information.
Yes,
Are benchmarks people? Are they things? Are they companies? Are they tools? What are benchmarks?
I think benchmarks. If I go to a bank and buy shares, okay. I don't know. I think benchmarks use my money to buy shares.
Ah, so you're saying benchmarks is basically like a kind of a person, like someone's job at a bank.
Yes, I think.
Okay. Let's see if the class agrees. What do you think, Sergio? Do you agree with that? Is he on the right track?
Um, from my point of view, I mean, I experience benchmarks is a really good way uh, to take some positive examples. I mean, point of
Yeah.
reference
Point of
from
reference.
other activities or company, even for I don't know behavior from others. You can use this actually to get better. It's not to copy, but to follow,
Not
to
to
learn.
copy, not to copy,
Cop,
but to follow.
not to copy, but to
Okay.
follow good activities, or you can better improve by yourself through these
Okay.
examples.
So Roberto's example of a person at a bank who's investing your money, that's not a benchmark, right?
Right.
Right, Sergio? Okay. So a benchmark is not a person, it's a thing. It's kind of like a tool, a conceptual tool. Class, can any of you think of an example of benchmarking? Can any of you think of a good concrete example of a benchmark?
With a sentence or a definition? No, a
I,
sentence.
Well,
I,
I mean like a real life example.
I use it in my job. For example, when you want to compare some
Right?
graphics cards for computers,
Right, right.
you usually use benchmarks to compare the throughput of that device of different brands.
Okay, so the benchmarks will tell you how fast they're processing the image.
That's right.
Got it, got it. Okay, so Roberto, does that make sense? The benchmark is like a standard, more or less like a standard that you can follow. Roberto?
Yes, yes,
So is that more clear now?
yes. I think.
Okay. So for example, Carlos's example about a computer is great because we all have that experience. If you go to a store and you look at two laptops, let's say one by Asus and one by Lenovo, they look exactly the same. They cost exactly the same. How do you know one is better than the other? Roberto, how do you know one is better than the other?
Mm, because
Did-
I have to compare.
exactly, and you compare with benchmarks.
Okay,
So,
okay.
right? So for
Yeah.
example, let's say the Asus has a faster processor, a faster chip. So the benchmark might be whatever it is, 2 point whatever gigahertz. So that's a benchmark. In reality, the chip is not always processing that fast, or sometimes it could even go faster. But the average is that benchmark. This is also true in the old days with film. No one uses film anymore. But in the old days, when I was in university, they used to give the Kodak used to give the film to the students, us, and we had to go out and take pictures, and we had to report back what was the best exposure for the film. And they used that information to set a benchmark. So they got the students to work for free, basically. But we got free film, so it worked out really well. And so it's just a number. It's not really reality, but it's something that everyone more or less agrees on. Okay, so that's benchmark. Rebecca, can you give us an example, a clear example of stakeholders? What that could mean?
Stakeholders. Okay.
Yeah.
With a sentence. The company is against to increase the number of the stakeholders.
By the way, against is an adverb. Okay? Right? Adverb. Right, Rebecca?
Say again, please.
The word against.
Yes, against to.
It is an adverb. Okay? After an adverb.
Against of, yeah.
No, wait.
Okay.
This is a general rule I want you to remember for the rest of time.
Of my life, okay. Tell me.
Okay?
Yes.
After an adverb, we use the gerund.
Always.
Always. So, against,
Always.
say the sentence again. Against,
The company is against, so against increasing.
perfect.
Okay, I don't need a to of, okay.
You can't use a preposition because there's already an adverb. You can't put them both together.
Yeah. Okay, against. Okay.
Against increasing the stakeholders.
Okay, adverb plus always gerund, always.
That's
Perfect.
right. After an adverb and after even a preposition.
Yeah, I knew
Of
that.
increasing.
That rule I knew it, but this one, no.
So, I think the sentence is very good. But who are stakeholders? Who are they?
The people, the group, the person or group of people who put money, in a business, in a company. It depends on the project.
Okay. So if they put money in, they're investors.
Yeah, the investors. Yeah.
Okay. I agree. Yeah. I don't know if stakeholders always put money, but that's one kind of stakeholder. But there might be other kind of stakeholders. Maybe they've invested their time. So any kind of investment, time, money, resources, makes you a stakeholder. All right. ICA, was it ICA or is the J is like an E, right? ICA.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
So, can you think of us like who would be a stakeholder in a company like Google, for example? Based on what Rebecca was saying, if you got a big company like Microsoft or Google, who might be a stakeholder in that company, ICA?
Oh.
What do you think?
Maybe some programmers.
Okay, could be. If they're not employees, right? If they're investors, they could be.
Or maybe some consultants. Or no, there are some groups. I read in news that there are some groups of stakeholders. They are from different. They are not really. What's the name? They invest money in different companies.
Like,
and they are also in Google and in Microsoft, almost the same. These people.
Like big investors on Wall Street or something like that?
Yes.
Okay.
When they see a good new idea, they invest the money. They give, for example, the programmer the money, and this programmer can build a company.
So they're like venture capitalists, venture capital.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're a venture capitalist, you are giving money, right? So you're definitely a stakeholder because if your company fails, the one you gave the money to, you're going to lose your money. So you've got a big stake. A big stake means an interest. Sergio, what do you think about providers? Could they be stakeholders?
Not. Actually, I just confused because here is a suppliers. Yes, I totally agree about stakeholders. Can be a group or a person that are really interested or has some interested in make business with somebody or some company.
So why would a provider not be a stakeholder? You're right.
Oh,
but
yes,
why?
yeah.
It's true. They're not.
Could
why?
be. Yeah, because providers is more like a support some product or service.
And they're getting paid. So it's not.
They're paid.
Yeah, they're not stakeholders because they can't lose anything. They're getting paid for the service on a one-to-one basis. Give the service, you get the money. So you're not a stakeholder. What happens is you give your time, energy, or resources, and you get nothing back. Now you're a stakeholder because you want that return later on. Okay? Jose disappeared because he was supposed to tell us about 360-degree feedback, but he disappeared. Maybe he'll be back. Diego, suppliers? What was an example of suppliers before we move on? Was that you? Wasn't that you defining suppliers for us?
No, I don't find them.
Oh no? Who was doing suppliers? I don't remember whose job it was. Let's go back to Mr. Jose. Mr. Jose?
Okay.
Mr. Jose, are you there? Jose.
Yes.
What
Yes,
about
I'm here.
360-degree
I
feedback?
have a problem with my connection. The mean.
Yeah.
Okay, we hand out a feedback form to everyone. You come into contact with your manager, your colleagues, people on your team, your customers, contractors, suppliers. Depends on the type of job, but you get information from everyone.
Okay. So I think that's a good definition. Jose, what would be the opposite of 360-degree feedback? If you're getting a job appraisal or a performance appraisal, 360-degree feedback is information from everyone.
Everyone, okay.
What would be the opposite? What's a traditional type of appraisal? What kind of feedback?
The traditional appraisal is top down.
Perfect. That's it. And that's a good vocabulary word from earlier, everyone. Top-down appraisal or top-down feedback comes from the boss. And, you know, businesses change. People realize that the old model just doesn't really work. Information, you can't really contain it. It flows everywhere. So 360-degree feedback is a much more contemporary way to give feedback, coming from the bottom, from the top, and from the sides, from your colleagues and peers. All right. Before we move on, I'm going to read the expert view a second time, because now that we know the words, I need someone to boil it down to one idea. Just what's the main idea? So listen one more time, follow along, and see if you can give me a quick summary. Then we're going to read our background. I'm going to ask you a few questions, and I'm going to give you an assignment to think about for tomorrow, because we're going to be solving this problem you're going to be reading about. Okay, so follow along with the expert view for a moment. Follow along. Two broad ways of evaluating and improving performance are inside out and outside in evaluation. Inside out evaluation answers the question, how well do I think I am doing? And requires you to set benchmarks for performance drawn from industry standards. Performance must be measured against these benchmarks in a formal and regular way, and as frequently as is appropriate. Outside-in evaluation answers the question, how well do they think I'm doing? And requires you to seek 360-degree feedback from customers, suppliers, and any other significant stakeholders in the value chain. We didn't actually define value chain. This feedback is best obtained through a formal questionnaire, which should be administered regularly. So, before we move on, what's the gist? What do we need to take away? What do we need to keep in mind as we do our own evaluation? What is Roger Delves telling us? Can someone just give us a quick summary? What's the main idea here?
Well, I think to know the both points of view from the customers and from the company.
Okay, and to know both points of view, we have two ways of doing an appraisal, right, Rebecca?
Yeah.
And they are called, one more time? They are called? Oh, but just look at the text.
Benchmarks.
No. In the beginning, inside out
Evaluation.
and outside in, evaluation. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to use those terms as well. Besides the other vocabulary words, we're going to use those terms specifically. Okay. I think we're ready to move on. So let's jump back to this slide. We need to get a big overview of the problem before we try to solve it. So we're each going to read a little paragraph here, and then we're going to discuss it at the end. We're going to discuss the main strengths of each company, the biggest challenge each company faces, and afterwards, we're going to be doing this, choosing one of the companies and discussing how the company can improve its situation. We're going to be doing a performance evaluation of one of these companies. Probably we'll be doing that all day tomorrow in the class. Today we just need the background. Okay? So let's start from the beginning. Aika, can you take the first company for us, the first point?
Maxi Muscle Sports Nutrition. The owner wrote a bestseller about which products help build muscle and burn fat. 24,000 copies were sold, and this capital was used to finance the company.
Right. What's a bestseller? Is that clear? What's a bestseller?
When it's a book or
A
something
book.
is selling very well.
Not something, a book.
Book, yeah.
It's always a book, always a book. Okay, so there was this, New York Times top-ranked book, sold all these copies, and that made money, and the money was used to finance a company. We know it's got something to do with sports. Okay, and Mr. Carlos, can you take the second one?
Yes. The owner's knowledge in gym instruction, nutrition, and health lead to his own brand products being created, focusing on quality and not price. Approx 75 euros per Maxi Muscle product.
Wait, muscle. Muscle.
Muscle.
The C is silent. Maxi Muscle.
Maxi Muscle
Mm-hmm.
product. Do I follow or stop here?
No, keep going to the end.
Oh, okay. Food technologists and doctors were consulted, so it was ensured the product worked, tasted, and looked good. The company was so confident in the brand that a money-back guarantee was offered to customers.
Guarantee.
Guarantee.
Yeah, it looks like guar, but we don't say the U, so it's actually guarantee.
Guarantee.
Excellent. Okay, so now we get a little bit more background about the guy, well, the owner of the company, and what kind of company it was that he created. I'm going to ask you a few comprehension questions at the end, okay? If there's any questions about words, just interrupt and ask. Diego, take the third one for us on the top right.
Okay. After highly successful trade and internet sales, the company opened its own retail outlet, but too much time and money was spent on running shop and managing personnel.
Personnel. Personnel is another way to say staff. Equipa, staff. Personnel.
Persons, people. No?
Not persons. It's got nothing to do with real people. It's only employees. Personnel, employees.
And not enough on promoting the brand. The idea was later
Scrapped. Here's another rule I want you to remember for the rest of your life. Are you ready, Diego?
For who? For what?
For you, Diego. I'm going to give you a rule, a guideline, a rule to remember. Regra, rule.
I don't remember. Sorry.
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you right now. Listen.
Yes.
Look at the last word you read, scrapped.
Scrapped.
How many consonants at the end of the word scrap? If it wasn't with ed, how many p's would it have? One or two? Like normally, what does it have? One or two p's?
3.
The word scrapped. The idea was later scrapped. If I took away the ed,
But I don't know the meaning of scrapped.
we'll get to the meaning in just a second. 1 second. But first I want you to look at the pronunciation.
Okay.
If I remove ed, how would I spell the word? C-R-A-P or C-R-A-P-P? If I remove the ed, how many p's does it have? What do you think? If you're not one, of course. One, of course.
Okay.
So, when you see two p's, it's a signal that the sound is the short sound. What I mean is this. It shows you that there is no final E. Because if there was a final E, you would only write C-R-A-P-E-D, and it would be the long sound. So, you can remember the pronunciation, even if you don't know the word, by seeing if there is a double consonant. If there's a double consonant, I'll write that in the chat window. If there's a double consonant, it'll always be the short sound of the vowel. The short sound is A, like cat. The long sound is A, like name or snake. Okay?
Okay.
Scrapped is what you give to your dog after a meal. You give the scraps. You give the scraps, the leftovers. How do you say leftovers in Spanish? Jose, Diego, Roberto, how do you say leftovers? The things that you don't eat. The leftovers of a meal. The scraps of a meal.
Las sobras de la comida.
Las obras?
Las obras.
Obras, really?
No.
No?
There's one.
Sobras.
Sobras. Oh, okay. And Sergio, how do you say that in Portuguese?
As sobras.
But isn't it, because in continental Portuguese we say os restos.
Os restos, sim também. Os restos.
That's why I just wanted to see if we had the same word. So, does that mean the same thing? Yeah, okay, remaining things is right, that's right. Okay, so scraps is the remaining things, not the main thing. The leftovers. Os restos de ontem, the leftovers from yesterday. Okay, let's keep going. Who was next? I think, Jose, you were doing the fourth one in the middle right side.
Yes. The next important step was finding a reliable, trustworthy supplier.
Trustworthy.
Trustworthy supplier.
Worthy.
Trustworthy supplier.
Good.
A small health food chain was chosen which was able to build a trusting and loyal customer base.
Just say one word again. Build.
Build.
Yeah, the U is actually silent.
Build.
That's it.
Build. Okay.
Okay, so now the company has been built up, and a health food chain was added to the success strategy of the company. Roberto, can you take the last paragraph on the right side?
Steady growth took place, but problems arose when athletics start blaming the product for poor performance and positive drug tests.
Now we have a problem. Positive drug tests. Hey, can you think of an athlete, Roberto, who got in trouble for positive drug tests?
Yes, the company can be a problem with that.
It can. Can you think of any examples in the news? What was a famous athlete who got into a lot of trouble for having positive drug tests?
I remember Ben Johnson 20 years ago, more or less.
That's true. He was doing steroids, right?
Yes.
He was what? He was a runner, wasn't he?
Ben Johnson.
Yeah, he was a runner, wasn't he? A sprinter in the Olympics.
Yes, he was.
Ben Johnson, did he win a gold medal in the Olympics? Am I right? Was he a jumper or a runner?
A runner.
A runner.
What about the guy who won the Tour de France like 8 times? Remember that guy?
Yes, I don't remember the name now. Armstrong. Armstrong.
That's it. And now, every time you see him in the media, he can't shut up about his doping. He keeps talking about it. But anyway, at least he told the truth. Okay, we're almost there. Let's go to the second page. Sergio, top left. This is the other company, I'm sorry. Yeah, the next company.
Okay. Innocent drink is fruit smoothie.
Smoothies.
Smoothies.
Good.
The idea for fruit smoothies came from the owners realizing they had a bad diet and there was no time for healthy eating in their business life.
So a long time ago, smoothies were a new thing. Now they're everywhere. By the way, what is a smoothie, Sergio? What is it? Do you know?
Oh. Fruit smoothie? Okay, smoothie is something soft.
What kind of a thing? It's not a car.
Yeah.
It's not a book.
I think it's gonna be fruit smoothies can be.
It's a drink.
It's a drink.
Apple. A drink, yeah.
Yeah, it's a drink.
Soft drink. Yeah, soft drink. Yeah.
Okay, not a soft drink, because a soft drink for us is like Coca-Cola. That's a soft drink when it has carbonation and sugar. So this is like a healthy drink where you just blend fruit together. But the point is, you're going down the street in a major city, you're busy, you can pick up one of these healthy drinks in a little kiosk somewhere. I think that's the idea. So this was a new idea like 30 years ago. Okay, Sylvia, next one. Middle left.
Yes, it wasn't easy to convince people about the product.
Oh, middle left. Middle left.
Left. They had an experience in the drinks industry. They created the drinks themselves, mixing different fruits together and trying their concoction out on friends.
Concoctions.
What is?
You mean, what does concoctions mean?
It's a mix of different. Yeah, I don't know. Of different wine and.
No, not wine. No, it's healthy food. Fruits, just fruits. A concoction is a mixture, but usually a mixture that is something you've just invented. You just made it up. A concoction. It's not necessarily a recipe. It's not a ricetta, right? It's something you've just made. Concoction. It's a good word. A concoction can also be an idea. Like, what a crazy idea. What kind of concoction of thought was that? Like a crazy mixture. Okay? Concoction. Mr. Vincenzo, how are you? Hello, Mr. Vincenzo. Are you there? I do not hear Mr. Vincenzo.
Yes.
Ah, there we go.
I'm listening to you. I'm listening to you, teacher.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
Want to do a little reading, Mr. Vincenzo?
Yes, this is possible, teacher.
Do the last paragraph on the left side for us, please.
Yes. They started their business unconventionally, offering free smoothies at a jazz festival and get customers to put their empty cups in buckets labeled yes or no. Yes meant they should quit they well
paid.
they well paid jobs and produce smoothies for a living. The yes vote won, and they left their jobs in the same week.
So look at this experiment. They had to decide whether they should throw away everything and start this company. What do you think about their experiment, Vincenzo? Would you do something that crazy?
They started the business and get the empty campus back.
So they came up with this new idea, and they did a test marketing. That's the idea here.
It's a kind of test, yes. Bags, empty cups with label yes or no. And produce smoothies for a living. Oh.
Right? So they were all working in different companies, and based on this one group at this one jazz concert, they wanted to know if they were going to make money. So if they got more yeses than nos, they would quit their jobs and they would invest all their time and money into this company, the Fruit Smoothie Company. Would you have thrown away everything when you were working in telephonic engineering? Would you have quit your company for an idea like this, Vincenzo?
I don't think so, teacher.
No?
I don't like it. It's a little crazy, huh?
It's a little crazy.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think it worked out pretty well for them, actually. I think we're going to find out. Let's go back to Aika for the first one on the top right. Aika.
After many months of no income and increasing costs and debt, they managed to secure funding from a business angel.
Guess what a business angel is, Aika, because you talked about it earlier. Remember the word we used there?
Or stakeholder?
Venture capitalist.
Uh-huh. Could you write it, please, in chat?
I did. I'm writing on the inside chat.
Uh-huh.
The blue one. Venture capitalist, which is the same as business angel.
Mm-hmm.
And
thank you.
That's how Verblin got its money too. They went to business angels, they got an investment, and now you've got Verblin. So that's a very common way to get started. Someone's got to give you that capital, and you've got to make, well, they're taking a risk, but you should be successful in a period of time, and they can recoup their investments. That means recuperate. And recoup is spelled like this in the chat window. R-E-C-O-U-P. Recuperate. Okay, we've just a minute or two. Let's finish the reading, and then we'll do our performance evaluation tomorrow. You will have to decide which company you can help, and we'll have an evaluation of that company. Or maybe we'll do a bit of both. So, Carlos, finishing it up. The middle paragraph on the left, please.
The biggest argument against...
Middle, sorry.
Oh,
one more,
sorry.
middle.
It wasn't easy to convince people about the product. It was made from fresh juice, not concentrated, contained not preservatives, so was difficult to distribute efficiently, and was therefore relatively expensive, €3 for 250 milliliters.
So, like, that's more than you would pay for a beer, right? And in New York, they were even more expensive than that, actually. Diego, last paragraph.
Okay. The biggest argument against the drink was their high cost and short shelf life, and distributors were not interested. The biggest argument for the drinks were their freshness and packaging. Clever
Packaging.
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 Good.
Packaging. A clever slogan, cool-looking bottles.
So, let's think about that last paragraph for just a second. Why would anyone invest in smoothies? You can't save it. You can't distribute it. It's got to be made fresh right in front of you. Everyone thought that was a crazy idea because Coca-Cola, you can store that for 100 years and still drink it. It's still going to be bad for you no matter what. But it's not going to kill you. Well, it will eventually, but one won't kill you. But if you have a bad smoothie, you're going to get sick, right? Because it's fresh. So according to the last paragraph, class, why would a business angel want to invest in this? What was the attraction? How could they market it? What was the appeal? What do you think? According especially to the last paragraph, what was the appeal? Any ideas?
It's because it's because it's a drink fresh, a fresh drink.
Because it's fresh, absolutely. So that's, maybe people really do pay for quality. It costs more, but it's worth it. I think that is part of it.
It's good. It's good for your health also. I think the business angels think that.
Okay, I agree completely. The freshness and the health quality were part of it. And the last paragraph gives us one other idea. What was the other reason people thought this could make money? What was the catchy part of the product besides the health part? Class, there's one other idea from that last paragraph we should underline.
Clever slogan. Marketing.
Clever slogans.
Slogans, cool looking bottles. It's a marketing
strategy. The marketing. Yeah. What did you say? I didn't hear you.
Marketing also.
Yeah. So they thought that they could really grab the attention of a consumer with really good marketing. Can anyone think of a clever slogan before we go? Do you know a company with a clever slogan?
No.
No.
Think out of the box.
Think out of the box. Well, that's like the Apple slogan. Do you know what the Apple slogan is?
Nope.
The Apple slogan is think different. I'm pretty sure it's think different.
Think different.
Right. Coca-Cola is drink Coca-Cola. That's their slogan.
And this is clever.
Very clever. It's an order. Drink it or else. Does Verbling have a slogan?
I think so.
Does Verbling have a slogan, anyone? Does anyone doesn't have a slogan?
Yes, it's about fluently.
Yes.
No, it's a mission.
Maybe
but I
wonder.
Fluently. Our mission is
something
like this. Is to reach fluently. Something like this.
Something like that. I can't even remember now. I was just looking at yesterday. Now I forgot what it was.
It's about the fluency, teacher. Fluently.
But fluency. Okay.
Fluency.
Okay. Well, listen, we're going to stop here. But now that you have the background and you've got some good vocabulary as well, I suggest you do homework 3, review homework 2 and 1, or do them if you haven't done them. And that will give you everything you need to be able to do a performance evaluation of your own tomorrow. I think if we have a big group, we could divide it in half. Half could do one company, half could do the other. And our goal is going to be to do the evaluation, and then together we're going to report back to each other, right? And we'll get ideas. So you're going to maybe present the company in your group, and together we're going to give a performance evaluation and make suggestions. Okay? And we're going to work on smoothies and what was the other company? Smoothies and no one was reading.
Sports nutrition.
Right, sports nutrition. There you go. Okay? Remember, everything you need is in the notes document, so you can always make a copy of that in your own Google Drive. Okay? I'll be back
Okay.
tomorrow at the same hour for our final class where we do a performance evaluation. That's 10 GMT, and 1 hour earlier for the speaking skills class tomorrow, where you're going to do lots of speaking. So come at 9 GMT for that. Have a great day, everyone. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.
You too.
For now.
Bye for now, everyone.
Bye.